Hi, I'm Shannon. If you're new here, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 little ones, and we are part of Classical Conversations, which we love. Today, I want to show you how to make your own threefold dry erase board that you can use for tutoring during community day. If you're in Classical Conversations or any kind of homeschooling group and you have a community day, it's a great way to display the information that you're showing the kids in your group. So you can use it for that. You can use it at home. You can, put laminated papers or just papers on it to display. You can let your kids write on it, play games on it. There's so many great uses for it. And it's really easy to make, and it's fun to make one that's dry erase. So you might be thinking, well, can't I just go to like Hobby Lobby or Walmart and get one of those threefold display boards that they have? And they have, the foam ones that are fine, but they're not dry erase. So these are great because you can write on them and erase on them. I've used mine the past 2 years tutoring, but it was pretty old when I started using it. So this year I wanted to make a new one. So today I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very simple. It's also pretty budget friendly. So what's great about this is once you get the supplies, you can make 2 of these boards. So you could use both of them if you wanted, or you could make both of them and then bring one to the other tutor in your homeschool group, or just another parent who might want one for their kids. So it cost me about $25 when I bought I'll explain the supplies in a minute, but when I bought the board and the duct tape, that's the only 2 supplies you really need to buy. So those totaled about $25. So about, $12, $13 for each board. So not bad, because you would definitely pay that or more if you were buying a threefold dry erase board, I believe anyway. I've never seen one for sale, but if you have, let me know in the comments. I'd be curious. For the supplies, you first need what's called shower board, and I got this from Lowe's. They come in sheets of 4 feet by 8 feet. You just need one of those 4 by 8 feet sheets, and please ask them to cut it for you there. It's tough material. I don't even know how you would cut it at home without like a really heavy duty saw. So ask them to cut it. They're really nice. They do it. And yeah, that's like a must. So ask them to cut it. And the dimensions that you're going to want to ask them to cut it are 2 pieces will be 2 feet by 3 feet each. And then they'll cut the rest into 4 pieces that are 1 feet by 3 feet each. So the 2 feet by 3 feet parts will be the center of the board, and the smaller parts will be the wings of the boards. Now remember, you're making 2 boards from this 4 feet by 8 feet sheet. The other supplies you'll need are duct tape, just the normal size, about 2 inches wide. I'll link below the one I'm using. I'm using black, but obviously use any color. I would suggest more of a black or dark blue, but some people might want to do a crazier color. Then you need a pencil and a Sharpie, and that is all. So the shower board, the duct tape, the pencil and Sharpie, and just a table to put it on to put it together. The first thing you're going to do when you bring the boards, the cut boards, because remember at Lowe's you're going to ask them to cut them for you. So when you bring the boards home from Lowe's, wipe them down, because at least mine were pretty dirty after being cut. So just wipe them with a clean cloth, make sure they're dry before you try to put the tape on. And you're going to lay them face down on the biggest table you have, or you could just use the floor if you don't have a huge table. But lay them face down, so the white dry erase part needs to be on the table so you can't see it. You want to see the back of the board. So you're going to lay them down just like the board's going to be. So you have the wing piece, the smaller piece, the center piece, and then the wing piece again. And then you're going to get your duct tape ready. Also get your Sharpie ready. You don't have to use a Sharpie, but if you're kind of type A like me and want it to look really consistent, it'd be a good idea. So tape ready, Sharpie ready. And now I'm going to kind of show you how the first part works. So basically you're going to unroll enough tape from your roll of duct tape to be as long as the longest side of the wing. We're going to do a wing first. And so you can see what I'm going to do here. All right, you can see I have my Sharpie. I'm just starting with one of the wings of the board, and I'm going to unroll my tape. Okay, so you can see I have my duct tape here. I unrolled it, so it's the length of one of the wings. Again, I'm going to start with the wing. I have my Sharpie and my scissors. Try to get the sharpest scissors you can. I'm going to unroll my tape, there we go, a little bit more. And I am going to go ahead and cut my tape. I want the length to be a little bit longer than the actual board. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit longer than the length of my board. Careful as you touch it, it's sticky, obviously. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little mark in the center of my tape on each end. So you can see I'm marking right here as close to the center as I can. I won't see it because it's on the sticky part. Don't mark your table. And then same thing over here. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, but then it helps you kind of line up your board on it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the board and let me pull this down a little bit so you can see it. Going to make the tape as straight as possible. And I'm going to bring the board and line it up as best I can with those marks I made. Now this is a little bit tricky, but you don't have to be perfect. I kind of angle it. Whoops, keep sticking to it. Let's try again. Okay, so I'm going to line it up as in the center as much as possible and just kind of start at one end and there we go. Stick it down. Again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And press it down. Okay. Then I am going to bend my tape over and I start on one side and press it down. And you're just trying your best to not get bubbles. If you get a few, this is the back, so that's why we're doing it this way. So if you get a few, it's the back of the board. Nobody cares or notices. And then just smooth it down. And you can usually get the bubbles out like that. So that's one side. So now we're going to do it again. Now we're not going to do it on this side yet. That's going to be the side that's next to the center of the board. We're not going to do it there, but we are going to, and you can, real quick, flip it over, see how it looks. But we're going to do that on each shorter end. So same thing, I'm going to pull the tape out. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it. I also am going to trim this part before I put more tape on it. Okay, so same thing, I'm just going to mark the center just so I have an idea where it should, the board should go so it's centered. So now I'm going to, same thing, I'm going to line it up and just try to center it as best I can. Okay, and then press it down, and then I'm going to bring the tape over. So much easier on this side because it's shorter, which is nice. So I'm going to press it down, can flip it over and make sure it looks okay, and then I'm going to trim the edges. Okay, so that is good. Then I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing on the other end. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing with my other wing here. All right, so now I'm going to do the center part of the board. So same thing, but I'm not going to do the longer sides. I'm just going to do the shorter side. And you know what, I'll make a Sharpie mark. The last few I didn't. I was like, oh, I got this, but I'll do it. It's just, my fingers stick when I do that, so you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Okay, so I'm going to try to straighten out my tape as much as possible. Take my board and press it down. So much easier when it's shorter. And bend it over. Again, if you get bubbles, not a big deal because this is the back of the board. Most of them you can get out anyway. So let's turn it over. Okay, and trim. Trim this. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for the other side. So I'm going to flip it over. Right, so here we go. So I got that part. And I'm going to bring the two wings to bring next to it. All right, I have my boards lined up face down. And you can see I have the pencil there. So what I'm going to do, the pencil is going to just make it have a space in between the wing board and the center board so that it will bend, because if you don't have any space then it won't bend. So I'm just using the pencil as a guideline. I'm going to take it off once I get it lined up well. Then I'm going to get my tape out again, and I'm going to make sure I have the length of the board, which I look like I do, so I'm going to cut it and carefully so it doesn't stick, line it up down at the bottom and pull it a little bit, then press it down and press it down as I go up. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but as centered as you can get it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because I'm going to have a piece on the front too. Okay, so trim that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to get my pencil, put it in here, line it up. Get my tape ready. And my scissors. So I'm going to remove the pencil when I have it lined up. Okay, looks like it's long enough. I'm going to cut my tape. Down and kind of press down as I go up. Perfect. Now I'm going to trim this a little bit. Okay. All right, so we're almost there. Just press it down a little bit more. And then I'm gonna turn it around. Here's the other side. So you can see I taped it down. I pushed, down with my finger down this part on both of them. And our board is done. So you can see it bends, and it's going to be an awesome dry erase trifold display board. So this took me about 20 minutes to make. I'm kind of type A, so I was trying to be really careful to make sure it was measured right. You could probably do it a little bit faster. Then you could make the second one. Remember, this makes 2 boards, and give it to another tutor in your homeschooling group or just another parent, or you could keep both of them, whatever you want to do. Have your kids try out the dry erase part and just wipe it down with a dry rag. When you're done, it works really well. So I hope you enjoy it. If you make it, please comment below and let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you're enjoying my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I post 2 videos each week about homeschooling, parenting tips, and even some health-related things. So I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.